No, but that's the point of why it's a con, to sort of so egregiously misrepresent himself to me. Is because on the natural law contract side of the interpersonal contracts, as soon as he enters in a relationship with a woman who really wants him, because he has this offering that's Mr. Good Life. So as soon as he finds a woman in his real life that really wants him, their natural law contract is going to play out by getting rid of me, and that ends up being really abusive. So yes, it was a con artistry, of a satanic contract, and again, it certainly never felt like my lust, but I can say that I really was only getting sex out of it. So at some point, I think that I had to recognize that he was fully disclosing that he had a whole life that I wasn't going to be included in. And then he becomes just really, kind of disrespectful and abusive to me, which includes parading other women in front of me, which includes putting me last, to everybody's face. So again, it's like to this day, I'll never really understand why there was ever, what was his goal of asking me to move into that house is another, because, he asked me that repeatedly, and I think I'll never be able to figure out, what was he going to accomplish by moving me into that house? Because, I was never really 100% believing that he lived there, so I can just never really figure out, what was he trying to accomplish by getting me to move in there? Because, he told me he'd had other women move in there, and that's why, we had to break. I mean, it's like, it just, in retrospect, it's also demonically way more sketchy than it was then, and it was all sketchy then, too. And then it's like, if you can't even get me to move into your damn, hoe house, and you're never taking my calls, and you don't even pay attention to me when I'm in the room with you because you're always texting somebody else, it's like, on what planet do you show up with a ring? I mean, so it's got to be some kind of, usurpation of estate fraud. And that's kind of the problem with, knowing that he at least has this level of, secret life. Is, at that point, you have no idea who he really is.